Stand up, New York Giant fans. What is going on? What's going on, Donovan? What's going on, George? What's going on, Afghanistan? Justin Roman, Chris Leone. I am as red as a tomato. I just held that in for like 30 seconds. I saw Dire Giants fans in here, Slurpees in here, Lake Nona John's in here, Stephen Lilly. So many questions. Where am I? So my question is, where am I? You are at the Entertainer Talking Sports, Mr. Lilly, all the way from across the pond. How you been, my man? Thanks for popping into the stream. Obviously, we got a pretty exciting game this week, being that we're playing the Eagles, even though we're 2-10. Eli Manning back, off the mat, so he'll be getting his first start since week 2, and the first of what I think will be a 4-game stint of a farewell tour. And then, of course, you guys are going to have off-season questions with the draft and free agency and things of that nature. Obviously, being that we're 2-10, this division is a complete mess. We watched the Cowboys last night get obliterated on Monday Night Football, on Thursday Night Football, rather, as they dropped to 6-7. And the NFC East is just a complete dumpster fire. And we'll be playing the second-place Eagles this week. Oh, Chris Leon, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, Christmas come early. Fizdale is fired. Yes. Holy freaking Louie. What a week it's been for my other teams. The Mets are rumored to be selling the franchise, and the Wilpons have been atrocious. And now we hear about the Knicks, and Fizdale is canned. Now, I don't put all that on Fizdale. Obviously, the general managers and upper management are a big part of the problem as well, but Fizdale was not the right coach. So hopefully the Knicks clean house. And we'll see what the Giants do this offseason, obviously with Pat Shurmur and Dave Gettleman. But, just waiting a couple minutes for everybody to pop in, then we'll answer some questions. What's going on, Enzo? Thanks for popping in the stream. Chris, you are complete. What's going on, man? Keith Smart. Yeah, Keith Smart also got fired. And I heard that Mike Miller may be the interim coach, who's an assistant with the Knicks right now, I believe. Question number 1, Christopher, how are you so handsome, Fashi? You got to ask my parents that, Fashi. My mom and dad got together, and I came out. That's how I'm so good looking. It's just genetics. I don't know what else to say, What's going on, Steven Evans? All right, another Q&A. Can't have too many of these. What is going on, Steven Evans? My man, thanks for popping in the stream, my man. You son of a bitch. Mike Miller is the head. Okay, so it's confirmed that Mike Miller is the head coach. Okay. No, I'm not answering that question. What's going on, Andy Garcia? Thanks for popping into the stream. If the Knicks win 4 games, will they get a top 3 pick? Well, the way the NBA lottery works, obviously the Giants stream, but I'll answer that. I mean, with the NBA lottery, you could get 0 wins and finish with the 5th pick with the new NBA lottery. It's a lottery. It's not like the NFL. What's going on, Omkar? Thanks for popping into the stream. He says, how is it going? Knicks firing coach. Somebody needs to be. Yeah, well, no, somebody just said Mike Miller's the coach. After drafting Chase Young, who would you like to see the Giants go after in this upcoming draft? Okay. Now, as far as that goes, there's a couple of offensive linemen people have told me about to look at. If we were to take Chase Young, I don't know. I don't want to answer something that I don't have done a lot of research on. I don't do my draft research in terms of the later rounds, probably until week 16 or 17. But if we take Chase Young, the positions we got to be looking at, if we take a Chase Young, and of course, I don't know what we did in free agency yet, right? Because free agency comes before the draft. But regardless, we need to get depth on that offensive line. We need to get younger. So we got to be looking at a center and a tackle if we take Chase Young with the 2nd overall pick. That's what we got to do. That's definitely our biggest need, in my opinion, outside of the pass rusher. And you can even argue it's our biggest need, being that Daniel Jones is a young quarterback. He needs insurance. I always say you got a Ferrari, you need insurance for that car. So offensive line, if we were to take Chase Young, I think is a necessity. I thought Dave Gettleman waited way too long last year to address that offensive line in the 7th round. Got to pay more attention to that in the draft this year. Oh, man, Stephen Lilly, thank you so much, man, for the love. £5 super chat. Benzanese. Is it true? Hold on one second. Let me read that real quick. Is it true that the Knicks are going to hire a blind midget coach to improve that? I'll tell you what, Stephen Lloyd, I'll tell you what, a blind midget would probably do a better job than what the Knicks have had as an owner and a general manager since I've been watching the basketball team. I'll say that right now. Between Dolan and everybody else who runs that team, they've brought on all these high-profile head coaches. They've all failed. The general managers have all failed. So a blind midget could probably do a much better job, Lily. But I appreciate the love, man. What's going on, Procaccini? Thanks for popping in the stream. Obviously, we got the Eagles on deck, and I cannot wait for that game on Monday night. I know a lot of Giants fans are going to want to lose that game, Procaccini, because they want Chase Young. But I would love to make Eagles fans a little upset on Monday night. Love it. Nothing would make me happier. What's going on, Riot Quinn? Thanks for popping in the stream. I'm going to the game. Will you enjoy the game, man? Moose, what's up? If Eli Manning retires, will you bring in a veteran quarterback to come in and help Danny Dimes? If who would you bring in? Okay, that's a great question. They may leave Alex Tanney on the roster. He did sign a contract this year. I think it was a multi-year deal. I could be wrong on that. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. I can look that up. But they did sign Alex Tanney, and they haven't cut him, which makes me think that he would probably be the guy they bring back, being that he's already has a rapport with... No, it was a one-year deal. Okay, so it was a one-year deal, so they may elect to let Tanney walk. I wouldn't mind bringing in a veteran quarterback, but I don't want to be spending a lot of money on a veteran backup quarterback. Daniel Jones is the guy going forward. You could bring in a guy... You could bring Tanney back, pennies on the dollar. Daniel Jones is our guy going forward. We need to use that. We need to use the cap space we have on the holes that we have. And backup quarterback is not a luxury that we have to spend $5, $6, $7 million on. So I would just bring back Tanney. That's what I would do. We have way too many holes to be worrying about the backup quarterback. McCown, I mean, I don't know how much McCown would cost. He's probably around $4 or $5 million if I had to guess. I'd rather just bring back Tanney. That's just me, though. I agree with all those things you said 100%. We need O-linemen bad, but what about linebacking core? What we have, hopefully we could grab our linebackers in free agency. Yeah, we could definitely. This is all going to depend on what we decide to do with the defensive scheme. If we stick with the 3-4, obviously you're going to be looking at much different linebackers than if you transfer to the 4-3. So most of us, I think, assume that James Betcher will be relieved after this year. I would be surprised if he's back. And if he is fired, and we do get our hands on Chase Young, I think it's more than likely we will transfer back to the 4-3. If we transfer back to the 4-3, a guy like a Littleton, who I like, doesn't really fit in the 4-3. So it kind of shapes what free agent linebackers you would go after. Schobert would be a guy I would attack if the Browns did not bring him back. And you could also address it in the draft. You could, from what I've read, and like I said, I do a lot more research on the draft around week 16, 17 in the offseason. But from what I've read, there's not a lot of standout middle linebackers that are supposed to be mid to early first-round picks in this year's draft. So you may be able to snag one in the second round if you say that. But we really need to attack the offensive tackles and the center position. Halapio has been awful. What's going on, Alex Sports? Thanks for popping into the stream. Yes, we need a prayer. Afghanistan says, do we sign Leonard? That is the pick, the question of the day. Do we sign Leonard Williams? Now, I will say this, and somebody commented on my video today about Leonard Williams, and it was a good point. The Giants' run defense, since we've added Leonard Williams, is surrendering, I think, only about 90 yards a game on the ground. Somewhere in there, between 90 and 100 yards. We were averaging about 110, 115 against before that. So he has made somewhat of an impact in the run game and creating pressure up the middle. He is not getting sacks. But I don't want to commit $100 million. I don't want to commit close to that to Leonard Williams. But, of course, Dave Gettleman made the commitment by trading for him before free agency. So you got to think the Giants are going to do everything in their power to keep Leonard Williams on the roster. The question is, what is the contract going to cost them? Now, if a team goes out there and offers him $15, $16, $17, $18 million a year, if you're the Giants, you got to let him walk. You got to let him walk. You cannot. He's not worth that. He's just not. I like Leonard Williams, but he's not worth a $18 million a year contract. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. He's been underwhelming, so I honestly don't think that'll happen. I think Leonard Williams is going to be back. I think they traded for him for a reason. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. And he fits the age. He fits the range. He's a younger player. He's going to be 26 next year. Sound? No, the sound's good. I see the sound, Sperm Cell. What are our chances of winning on Monday? Well, Alex Sports, and if you haven't done so, going over to Alex Sports. I was just in his stream before I came here. He's got a great kid. He's got a Giants channel over there. Go check him out. But as far as our chances of winning on Monday, we could win. The Eagles are not good. Eagles are not a good football team. They're not. They just lost to the Miami Dolphins. They're 5-7. They've got a ton of holes. We could definitely win on Monday. I'm not going to say good chances. It's at the link. The Eagles have owned us over the years. I'll put it at 25 to 30%. Because Eli Manning maybe lights a spark into the Giants and maybe they play harder. I give us a chance, but I'm not going to say we have a great chance. Oh, man, thank you. Oh, man, thank you so much. He called me Swamp. One Giant rebuttal with the $10 super chat. Stand up. He says, you're coming in clear. I can't call you Swamp Thing. He loves to call me Swamp Thing because when I use the other camera, it looks bad. Hold on, let me read the rest of that. He says, all that being said, have you seen that locker speech from Rivera trending on Twitter? Gets me fired up. I have not. That I did not see. You talking about Ron Rivera? No, I have not. One Giant rebuttal. But if you guys have not gone over to One Giant rebuttal, I think he just hit 400 subs. Go on over there, check him out. The guy puts out great Giants content. But I'm a big. I've been making videos for a few weeks now on Ron Rivera, and I am a huge Ron Rivera fan. I would be very happy if the Giants brought him in. I know a lot of people want the younger coach, and I'd be just as happy with Rule or a younger coach. I know a lot of people like the DC from the 49ers. I would be completely fine with a young coordinator / coach. No doubt about it. But all that being said, I am a big fan of Rivera. I think he's kind of what we need. And as I said in my video, I don't know if you guys saw it, people are saying, I don't want a retread. I don't want an old coach. Well, what was Tom Coughlin? Tom Coughlin was both of those. He was an older coach when we brought him in, and he was a retread. And he had a similar track record to what Rivera has. They were both this more of a disciplinarian type coach. They both were about 10, 15 games over 500, and they both had success where they had been. They hadn't won a Super Bowl. Coughlin went to a couple AFC championship games, and, of course, Rivera brought the Panthers to a Super Bowl. I would be happy if they brought in Rivera. I think he's the type of coach we need. Oh, Chip Kelly, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. What do you think? Chip Kelly? Chip Kelly says, what do you think of linebacker on the Mud Dogs, Bobby Boucher? Oh, Chip Kelly. Bobby Boucher. H2O. H2O, the water boy. A water boy reference. Didn't he break the sack record in college, was it? Or was it high school? I think he was in college, right? During that movie. He broke the sack record, didn't he? I think Bobby Boucher could help out the Giants. Why not? Let's call up Adam Sandler. He's like 60. He might be able to help us. No, but thank you for the love, man. I really do appreciate that. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Eli is coming back, helps Barkley gain traction in the ground game? Great question, Zachary. Yes, I absolutely do think that. That is something I have said also for a few weeks. I think and I don't like to blame Daniel Jones for anything because he's a rookie quarterback, but I think part of Saquon Barkley's struggles has had to do with Daniel Jones and not having Eli Manning there because I do think Eli Manning's going to set him up better for success in the run game simply because of his pre-snap reads. He's going to know to audible into a run play when he sees a certain coverage on the defense where Daniel Jones may not know that because of his lack of experience. He's also, I think Eli Manning will use Saquon Barkley similar to the way he used him last year in the passing game. So I do expect Saquon Barkley to have a big game on Monday night. I think he's going to have a big game. Oh, Stephen Lilly, man, thank you so much, man, for the love, man. £2 super chat. You can't forget about it. I really do appreciate that, Chip Kelly, man, and I cannot wait to beat your Eagles this week. He says, can you imagine Williams with Young, pressure, and sacks? Good point. That's the other thing. If you get a Chase Young, all the other talented players that we have on our line are Dexter Lawrence's, Lorenzo Carter. But Lorenzo Carter probably transferred to the linebacker, more of a coverage linebacker if we transfer to the 4-3. But yeah, so Williams, guys up the middle like a Dexter Lawrence. If he's commanding all that attention, it's going to make everybody else's job easier. That's what Bad Dog said, I think, when we did the Giants show. And he's absolutely right. You get a dominant pass rusher like that, that changes the entire defense for the New York Giants. And that is why, if the Giants have that pick, Chase Young is a slam dunk. Cannot pass it out. I would love Andrew Thomas. I would love to shore up the offensive line. Got to take Chase Young if he's there. Got to. He could revolutionize this defense overnight. What's going on, Moves? What's going on, Rolly? Chris, did you get a chance to read G-Men HQ article I DM'd you on Twitter? I did not, Roldy. Oh, I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read it. I was busy. I saw it. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I will read it after the stream. What's going on, Tristan? Thank you for popping in the stream. Chris Gonzalez, I didn't know that was you on Twitter, Roldy. I didn't know that was you. Moose says, doing giveaway on my channel. Well, that's right. Going over to Moose says, go subscribe to him. Thank you for posting those links there, Slurpee. I appreciate it. I watch every team get off the field on third down except, oh my God, Jeff McKinney. Oh my God. That is the worst part of our defense all year. The third down defense. The Giants actually, I feel, in most games, do a solid job at getting the opponents to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. But they never get off the field. It is the worst third down defense I've ever seen. And hopefully some of that has to do with that we need improved coaching, improved scheme, and our younger players need to mature. But it has been a major problem. Oh, thank you, Luke Bridges. Thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, predict Eli Manning's stats. All right, let me, Stephen Lilly, he says, do you trust Gettleman to choose Young over Thomas? All right, I will get to that question after. Luke Richards, thanks for the love, man. In terms of the stats for Eli Manning this game, from what I heard, I haven't checked the weather report. From what I heard, they're predicting rain in the forecast. So if that's the case, if it is going to rain, I don't think the Giants will look to pass much. I think they'll try to rely on Saquon Barkley, who did tear them up, but I could see them using short and intermediate passes to Barkley out of the backfield. I think Eli plays a pretty efficient game. I'll go 252 yards and 1 touchdown. No picks. I think he throws a lot of checkdowns, doesn't throw an interception. I think he comes out there, makes the plays he needs to make, and keeps the Giants in the game. I don't think he's going to have a spectacular game because our offensive line is still piss poor, but I think he plays pretty well. And to go to Stephen Lilly's question about do I trust Gettleman, Dave, you know what, I try to I like Dave Gettleman. I do. You know, I'm not a guy who hates Dave Gettleman. I like Dave Gettleman. But I'm also a guy on YouTube who tries to be as unbiased as possible. And I try to not let my fandom get in the way. But I do like Dave Gettleman. I like his confidence. I do. I like his philosophy. I think he built from the line out. But Dave Gettleman is a loose cannon. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know if I would trust him to take Chase Young. I really don't. I honestly don't. I would hope and think he would have to take him, but things could change from now up until the combine. Man, thank you so much, man. OGR for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, check out Big Blue for Life's question. He's been trying to ask if it pops up again. I think it's a good question. Like to hear your answer. Thank you so much, man, for the love, man. And definitely, man, let me, I'll scroll up. I'll find it. I'm sorry if I missed it. I never like to miss questions. Hold on. Big Blue for Life. There, this is the one I think you're asking. Thank you. Thank you again. Big Blue for Life says, if Mara decides to fire Dave Gettleman, is there a specific candidate you would want to replace him? For me, that's an easy answer. I don't know if it would fit. It's the popular answer. It's the guy that most people wanted, in my opinion, when we hired Dave Gettleman in the first place. That's Riddick, Louis Riddick. I think he's a brilliant mind. I agree with almost everything the guy says. I would be very happy if they hired Riddick. That would be my choice. If we're in a fantasy land right now, that would be my choice. That would have been my choice the first time. That's who I would want. Do you think there will be a wide receiver? Do you think there will be a wide receiver in this offseason? Do I think there will be a wide receiver in this? I do not think we're going to add a wide receiver in the free agency. I don't see that because when you look at the first off, we're going to have about probably 65, 70, 75 million after keeping a guy like a Leonard Williams, which I think we will. I don't think that there's wide receivers that are worth spending that money on, being the needs that we have. I think they'll add a wide receiver in the draft, but I don't think it'll be in the first 3 rounds. It's a deep wide receiver draft. I could see them doing something similar to what they did in this year's draft when they went out there and they got, obviously, a Slayton in the later rounds. I could see them doing something like that. That's what I would expect them to do. I don't think they'll spend an early round pick on a wide receiver. Let's see what we got here. I sure as shit hope we don't draft one. No, can't. I would be pissed. Who's your favorite rookie on the New York Giants? My favorite rookie on the New York Giants? It would have to be Slayton at this point. The way I like Lawrence too. I like Daniel Jones, but Slayton is probably my favorite. Yeah, assistant GM George Patton would be perfect for us. Interesting, Rolly. Interesting. I'll take a look. Now, one guy that a lot of people, one of my subscribers brings up a lot in my Discord, Javon, is Zimmer, the head coach for the Vikings, if the Vikings were to miss the playoffs, which they very well might. The Vikings right now only have a one-game lead for that 6 seed in the wild card, being that the Bears won last night. If they lose this week, so if the Vikings were to miss the playoffs, Zimmer could get fired, and that might be a type of coach that people would want. He's more of a defensive-minded coach, so that may be a guy that Giants fans would be excited about. Let's see what we got here. Which current coordinator would you look at for our head coaching job? Oh, man. I'm trying to think of, the guy from the 49ers. That's the guy everybody brings up, the defensive coordinator. The names escape me right now, but everybody likes him. That's like the most popular name on everybody's list, the defensive coordinator from the 49ers. What he did with that defense this year, obviously he got a lot more talent, but that would be that would be the most popular one. Yeah, Saleh. However you pronounce it. Yeah, Robert Saleh. Let's see what we got here. Does Shepard have a big game now that Eli is back? I'd like to see it. And what's going on, Strobnick? Thank you for popping in the stream, my man. I would like to see it. Shepard have a big game, because you saw as soon as Eli said he was going to play, or the Giants said Eli was going to play, you saw how excited Shepard got, right? He starts tweeting out, "Oh my God, I'm so excited! I get to catch balls from Eli Manning." So you can tell the players are happy that Eli's going to get his opportunity to play, at the end of his career as a New York Giant. So I hope Shepard has a good. I love Shepard. Shepard's one of my favorite players on this team. Great kid, tough kid. Yeah, I would like to see Shepard have a big game with Eli. I really would. And there's the Discord link. Thank you for posting that, man. I think it sucks that we gave up a third and a fifth for Williams. He really hasn't shown he's worth it yet. Peter, listen, that is one of the reasons why a lot of people are calling for Dave Gettleman's job right now. Well, not everybody is, but some people are calling it into question, because it was, at the end of the day, that was a questionable trade. It just was. It was. Oh man, One Giant Bottle, man. Thanks for the love, man. If you guys have not subscribed to One Giant Bottle, go do it, man. The guy, he's a great guy, and I think he's one of the smartest Giant minds on YouTube. I'm not just saying that. He's a really educated Giants fan. $5 super chat, bends the knees. He says, "What's going on, New York for Life 12?" He says, "Did you notice that ever since I wore that Slayton jersey at the Jets game, Slayton has really picked it up? Coincidence? I think not." That's true. And OGR bought that Slayton jersey before Slayton really took off, right? That Jet game was really his springboard game. And yeah, Slayton's the real deal. I don't know if he's going to be, Odell Beckham, but he's going to be a good wide receiver for the New York Giants. Gettleman got a steal there. That was Gettleman's best pick in this year's draft. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Lamel Sinclair? I don't know if I said hello to you earlier, man. Great. One of my best subscribers. Thanks for being here, buddy. Hey, Chris, will the Giants let Eli Manning finish off the season, win or lose? I mean, if Jones is healthy, I think Jones will play. This whole conspiracy thing, I didn't even want to make a video on that. Then I saw Bad Dog make a video, and I'm like, you know what? I love Bad Dog. I disagree with his opinion wholeheartedly. So I said, okay, I gotta get my opinion out there and say that I honestly think Daniel Jones is hurt. He may not be severely hurt, but I think he's hurt enough to the point where the Giants are going to play it close to the vest, and they're going to let Eli play. But if Jones is completely healthy in 2 weeks, I think Jones would play. But I think the Giants are going to play it safe, so we'll see. Oh, Jake, man, thanks. Thank you so much for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, "What's up, Chris? Whatever happened with Zimenez? Zimenez hasn't done much. He's been silent. He's on the field. You see him on the field. I don't know if he's playing as many snaps as he was, but you definitely see him on the field. He just isn't getting after the quarterback. He's just not. He's been silent the last couple weeks. Isn't getting sacks. He's not getting sacks. And Omkar, I appreciate that, man. And Jake, man, thanks again for the love, man. Knicks fire Fizdale. Who should be the next head coach? I have not even begun to think about that. I heard that Mike Miller's taken over in the interim. My guess is the Knicks go for a young coach, whether it be a college guy like a Brad Stevens with the Celtics or something along those lines. I don't think they'll go for a veteran. They've brought in so many retread coaches there, and it never works. Obviously, Derek Fisher didn't work either, but he had no experience. I think they'll go for a younger coach. Let's see. Besides Chase Young and Andrew Thomas, who would you want the most? Probably. I don't want a receiver. All right, everybody says. Let me pull up a mock draft right now. We'll look at the players that are going at the tops of the mock drafts. I don't want a receiver. I don't want CeeDee Lamb. I do not that early. No way, shape, and form. I know a lot of people will say the receiver. I don't want that. First off, say the Giants are picking 3 and somehow, some way, Thomas and Young are gone. I trade down. I look to trade down. I try to trade down for a team that's looking for a quarterback. That's my first option. Or even if Thomas is there and I feel like I could get a good offensive lineman later in the draft, I still look to trade down because I get a lot for that pick. So that's my first option, first and foremost. I know a lot of people are bringing up Burrow. Daniel Jones is our quarterback, so that's off the list. That's off the list. But this is taking forever. Let me pull up this mock draft. Let's see who's going at the top. I mean, I like Delpit, but I wouldn't take him that early. But I do like Delpit a lot from what I've seen. And if kind of fills a need, we do need a safety. I would look to trade down. First and foremost, I would look to trade down. Isaiah Simmons is the guy. Yeah, he's the most popular guy. Everybody likes Isaiah Simmons. If we were picking like 5th and he was there, I would take Isaiah Simmons. But Chase Young and Andrew Thomas to me are way above him. Way above him. That for me. Some people on my channel think Isaiah Simmons is the best player in the draft. I do not. But if we're picking 5, 4, and those 2 guys are gone and you can't trade down, yeah, Isaiah Simmons seems to be the most logical choice. Oh, Stephen Lowe, man, thank you so much, man, for the £2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Wide receivers don't win you Super Bowls. I hate diva fans. I'm with you, Stephen Lowe. I'm completely with you, man. At the end of the day, look at the Patriots. Since Bill Belichick and Tom Brady have taken over for the Patriots, they've been to 9 Super Bowls. They've won 6 because of us. We knocked them off for 2, and I don't want to talk about that other team that beat them, okay? We're going to ignore that other team. But we knocked them off for 2 of those chances. But other than Randy Moss, what great wide receiver. And the only reason they got Moss, by the way, was because the Oakland Raiders gave up on him, and everybody thought he was done. So the Patriots said, all right, we'll bring him in on pennies on the dollar. We'll rejuvenate his career. But other than him, what wide receivers have they had? Deion Branch? I mean, really? Wes Welker was nothing before he was a Patriot. What have they had? Wide receivers don't win Super Bowls. They don't. Offensive linemen, pass rushers, and the quarterback. By far the most important parts of a football team. But Riot Clan, is Edelman good without Brady? Is Edelman good without Belichick and Brady? Probably not. Probably not. Gronk is good. Let's see, we got it. Do you think the Cowboys will re-sign Cooper? If not, yes, I do. I honestly think that the Cowboys will. What's up, Chuck Sharks? Thanks for popping in the stream. I honestly do think that they will re-sign Amari Cooper. But if he was on the open market, maybe he's a guy you think about. But I'm old school. I'm a guy of the mindset. I would never want to spend 10% of my cap on a wide receiver. I just don't think it's an important enough position to do that. That's just me. Some people think it is. If the salary cap's going to be $200 million, I don't want to spend 20 of it on a wide receiver. I don't think you win that way. That's just me. But I do think he'll be back with the Cowboys. He's had a really good year there. Just trying to pull up this mock. Of course, it's taking forever. Let's see what we got here. I'm not a fan of drafting receivers or running backs in the first round. A lot of people were not a fan of drafting Barco where we did. Shame we cut Cruz. He still could have played. Cruz was never the same, Luann, after that injury. Unfortunately, he was never the same. You know, let me get rid of this here because this is really slowing down my internet. All right. Chris, you think the Giants might be getting a new tight end in this offseason since Ingram gets injured a lot? I'll tell you what, the kid that's been playing has played pretty well. I think he's got, 80 yards in the first he had like 70 yards last game, didn't he? I think Ellison's going to be cut. Ellison makes $6.5 million, and he only carries like $1 million dead cap hit. So that's $5.5 million in savings. I think Ellison will be cut. I think Ingram stays on. I think they go cost-effective at tight end. You know, maybe they draft one late. Yeah, Smith's done well. Because he was shot. I want a big tight. Yeah, I mean, you could draft a tight end, though. You could get a tight end in the 5th or 6th round. Let's see what we got here. Chris, final score for Monday. I am going to go Eagles 27, Giants 20. I'll say the Giants lose by a touchdown. What's going on, Honey Badger? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on, Steven Castillo? Jake, I don't think they're going to let him go this year, but I get your point. The guy doesn't stay healthy. His blocking's overrated. They said he improved it. He can't stay on the field. He's a great athlete, but I'm not giving him a long-term contract. But he'll be here next year because he's cost-effective. He's only $3.2 million. Still on his rookie contract. And if they let him go the following year, they'll get a comp pick. So there's really no point in trading him. If a team offers him a pretty solid contract, the Giants will probably get a third or fourth round pick for him. So you might as well let him play out the contract, in my opinion, and then let him walk. Trojan says, does Saquon have a big game? Yes, I think he will. Somebody asked me that earlier. I think Saquon's going to have probably his biggest game of the year this week. He killed the Eagles last year, and he looked to be getting back on track last week. Prediction, Chiefs versus Pats. I'm going to be calling that game with Bad Dog, Stephen Lilly. I'm going to tell you what. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I don't think the Pats are nearly as good as I thought they were at the beginning of the year. They got holes on that team. Tom Brady does not look like Tom Brady. And you know what? They fooled me before. But I'm not going to count out. Now, Buffalo's got to win this week, which is, I think they play the Ravens this week. So, for them to have any chance, they're at home, but for them to have any chance to win that division, they got to beat the Ravens. But if the Bills ever beat the Ravens, they might win that division. The Bills are good. The Bills are good. People have been sleeping on the Bills. Bills are good. Big move. I like the idea of Matt Rule to the Giants and Urban Meyer to the Cowboys. I think it could be a fun rivalry. I don't want them to get Urban Meyer. Why would you want the Cowboys to get Urban Meyer? I don't want them to get Urban Meyer. I don't care about fun rivalries. I want dominance, Big Blue for life. I want the Giants to be 16-0 and everybody else to be like 1-15. Oh, DeFron Dominic, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, do you think DeAndre Baker will be better next year with more experience? Should we look for another corner, man? Thank you so much for the love, man. I do think that we can attack. That is one spot in free agency. If we have enough money set aside, I could see us bringing in a veteran corner. I've not looked at names yet, but I could see them doing that in free agency if they decide to cut Janoris Jenkins. Bring in a guy that maybe isn't a top-tier free agent corner that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, but a veteran guy maybe, to create some stability in that secondary. I could see them doing that. And then what was the second part of your question? DeAndre Baker, right? Yeah, my thoughts on DeAndre Baker. I was a huge fan of DeAndre Baker going into the draft. I made draft preview videos for him months leading up into the draft. I was a fan of taking him at 17. I was a huge fan of DeAndre Baker. I was thrilled when we got him. But up to this point in his career, he is by far the most disappointing rookie on the New York Giants. And I think a lot of that, and maybe I'm wrong, has to do with James Bettcher. I really do believe that. And it's why I think James Bettcher is going to be replaced. He does not fit in that system at all. He's playing him way too much in zone. We saw it the first week. He was getting cooked. Now, I will say this. It doesn't seem like DeAndre Baker is reading the playbook as much as he should be. So I'm not going to make all these excuses for Baker. It doesn't seem like he's as hard as a worker as he should be. And if he does not work as hard as he needs to work, he will never be successful in the NFL. But I don't think he fits the James Bettcher defense. I do think he has talent. And I think he could be really good. I'm not giving up on him yet. Yeah, when he plays man, he plays well. He's done good against good wide receivers this year when he's in man at times. Let's see. How long do you think it takes for the Giants to get good again? You know what, Tristan? The NFL is a funny league because it could happen in 1 year. I'm not saying it will, but it could. Look at the 49ers this year. They get Bosa. Say we get Chase Young. That's pretty comparable. They get D Ford. Let's say we add a pass rusher in free agency. They get the quarterback back in Garoppolo. Let's say Daniel Jones takes his stride in year 2. I'm not saying we'll be the 49ers, but we could be a much more competitive team next year. If you get Chase Young, you improve that offensive line a little bit in free agency and the draft, the Giants could be a competitive team. And in this division, the Eagles and Cowboys suck. I'm sorry to all the Eagles fans in here. They suck. They're not nearly as good as people thought they were going into the year. And they don't have a lot of room in salary cap. So if the Giants get improved through the draft and free agency this year, why can't we be competitive in the division? Why not? Much crazier things have happened on a year-in, year-out basis. Did you see the kindergarten Mike Coxlong? Yes, Pavith. Mike Coxlong and Seymour Butts and, yeah, all those people. Yep. And you, Jess. Yeah, I just saw all of them. They just walked by the studio. There's you right there. Hey, you, how you been, buddy? Yeah. Fly Eagles Fly. Monday is about to be crazy. I'm looking forward to it, Brock. He will be a stud. Mark my words. What's up, Chris? Should we get Rule or Rivera as our head coach? I think those are the top two candidates, Rule and Rivera. I think those are the top two candidates that most people want. We need a left tackle, center, and an O-line coach. Kyle, everybody's been saying that. Not just matter of fact, I have not said that enough. Not all, but a lot of my subscribers have been saying that the first guy that should go is the offensive line coach. And you know what? It's a great point because you see a lot of these offensive linemen. DJ Fluker, he's pretty good. Eric Flowers, he's doing pretty good. Our offensive line coach might be a big problem for this team. Would you take Randy Moss over Chase Young? Randy Moss is 90, so no. I prefer Chase Young at 21. Yeah, I don't want a 90-year-old Randy Moss. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Eric Flowers blew my life. Yes, he did. Authentic, what's going on, Authentic? And if you guys have not done so, go on over to Authentic's channel. He's got a great podcast. I absolutely love that guy. He's a phenomenal supporter of my channel. I gotta get on that podcast. I love that podcast. I love it. I just don't have enough time to ever watch it because I'm always live. But he's doing a great job over there. Let's see what we got here. What is up? MLB Trade Rumors says the Phillies to pursue Anthony Rendon. Ooh, I did not hear about that. Now, I would be interested to see if the Mets go out and get Anthony Rendon. Because now that they got this new owner, there's rumors that they're going to spend a lot of money. And maybe they'll do it this year. Maybe Rendon's the guy they go after. He would fit. I'd be excited if the Mets could go out and get Rendon. That would be a splash. That give me a little excitement for my baseball team. Do you think the Cowboys' problems are down to Garrett, or do you think it's Jerry Jones not giving him the power to coach the players? Jerry Jones is the biggest problem with the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has been the biggest problem with the Cowboys since they've been winning their Super Bowls in the 90s. Jerry Jones. Okay, this guy, he had a two-time Super Bowl winning coach in Jimmy Johnson, and he was so arrogant that he said, it's not because of you, it's because of me. And he goes out and he brings in Barry Switzer. And yeah, they win one more Super Bowl because they have more talent than God. But his ego is by far the biggest problem with the Cowboys. It's not even close. The only reason Jason Garrett is the coach there is because his ego is so big that he needs a puppet. Jerry Jones is by far the biggest problem in Dallas. Thank you so much, Bobby Stevens, for the $3 super chat. You can't forget about it. Watching Justin Herbert, I don't see it. Bust. Well, Justin Herbert, if he came out this past year, more than likely could have been the Giants draft pick. A lot of people are very high on Justin Herbert, and I think he would have fit the system pretty well. I like Justin Herbert from what I've seen, but I'm not watching the game tonight. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but he does possess a lot of the tools that you'd want in a quarterback. I don't want you, Jackson. I don't want you, Jackson. Did you hear Stephen A. Smith say Eli Manning is... Yeah, I heard about it. Alex, I've done so many videos on morons saying that Eli Manning's not Hall of Famer. I said I'm not even going to bother. I've done like 3 of those videos before, and I'm just sick of it. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. People need to stop with the stupidity. Fantasy football is ruining people's minds. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Stephen A. Smith doesn't know what he's talking... Now, people are taking advice... This is why ESPN's going down the tubes, by the way. People are taking advice from the same guy that said Dwayne Haskins is a run-first quarterback. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to really listen to what Stephen A. Smith has to say about Eli Manning. Okay. Who we drafted? Let's see. Is Stephen A. Smith a clear hater? Will Eli Manning have a first down run in this game? I sure hope so. That would be fun to watch, wouldn't it? I think it was the Buffalo game. Eli Manning ran for about 10 yards, and Bad Dog and myself were going crazy. It's always fun to see Eli Manning pick up a couple of yards. What do you think about the 49ers defense? That seems to be the hottest topic of conversation if we're going to hire a coordinator. Giants fans love that guy. And he's done a great job with that 49ers defense this year. Might be a guy we look at. Definitely seems to be a rah-rah guy. Starting Eli Manning, that's a horrendous... Well, who would you start, Nelson? Nelson. For everybody that says we shouldn't start Eli Manning, who would you start? If you're not going to start Eli Manning when Daniel Jones gets hurt, why is Eli Manning on the roster? I don't understand this whole thing. Where did this come from? Where did this come from? Alex Tanny? You're really going to start Alex Tanny over Eli Manning? Come on. Come on. Enough. 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 What's going on, King Seahawk? Thank you for popping in the stream. He played with a high ankle sprain. I know he did, but what's the point at this point in time into risking further injury? I don't mind. Okay. We said the same thing about Saquon Barkley. Earlier this year when he had an injury. And we said, why are you going to rush him back? Why don't we have the same mindset with our franchise quarterback, our future franchise quarterback? Why, in a 2-10 season, if he has a high ankle sprain, are we going to risk further injury when it's going to be rainy conditions? He should have never went back in that game. Why are we going to risk further injury if he's not 100% in a game that doesn't mean anything? I don't understand why there's even controversy with this decision. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, hello there, you filthy animal. What's going on, Mike Nixon? Thank you for popping in the stream. Question, is Dave Bundleballs a keeper as GM? Dave Bundleballs, is that what you call him? MH? I think they're going to keep him. If I had to guess, I think Dave Bundleballs will be back one more year at least. I can't wait for Monday, Anthony. I can't wait. Leave the gun, take the cannolis, George says, yes. Let's see what we got here. Imagine egos don't exist in the NFL and we were able to make Pat our offense. That's what one of my subscribers said today. And I thought, what's going on, LMAO clown? That would be a perfect situation. That would be the perfect scenario. If it'll never happen, because I don't think the Giants are going to ask him to step down and take the offensive coordinator position. I don't think Pat Shurmur would take a demotion. But at the end of the day, it's probably Pat Shurmur's best option. Because if the Giants were to fire him, he's not getting a head coaching job anywhere else. Now, he'll probably get an offensive coordinator somewhere else if he wants it. But that would be a perfect situation. It's not going to happen. It's Fantasyland. But yes, it solves everything. Because now you get a leader that you want to be your head coach. You don't confuse Daniel Jones. He stays with the same offensive system. But the problem with that is you also need to find a head coach that wants Pat Shurmur to be his offensive coordinator. So it's way too much. It's just way too much. It's not going to happen. Race for Chase, yeah. How many checks down? At least 4. At least 4 for Barkley. Mike Schuler's garbage. I'm doing good, Mike Nixon. Jeremy Maynard in the house. What's going on, man? How you been? Hey, Chris. Hope we get young in the draft and switch back to the 4-3. Jeremy, I completely agree with you, and I think we're going to. I think Betcher's on his way out, and I think we're going back to the 4-3. I really do. I think that we've got the pieces that could translate back to the 4-3. If we fire Betcher, I think we're headed back to the 4-3. Especially if we get Chase Young. He's better suited for the 4-3. So we'll see if we get him. We still got 4 games to play, and even if we have the number 1 overall pick, knowing Dave Gettleman, we may not take Chase Young. So we got to let it play out and see if we actually get the guy and see what we do with our coaching staff in the offseason. In my opinion, Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. In my defense, I didn't start watching football until 2009. Maybe Eli was better before that. Yeah, Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, Brock. I respect your opinion. Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. It's not even a debate. Shouldn't be a debate. I'm doing good, Noah. Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. If we hire Rivera, then we will be a 4-3. Yes, 100%. I think we're going to be a 4-3. Entertainer, who do the Giants need? They need a pass rusher. They need offensive line. They need a head coach. They need every position on the field other than running back and guards. And that's about it. They could use improvements everywhere else. Let's see what we got here. If we go back to 4-3, then we need to keep Williams. Yes, Williams would translate well to the 4-3. So would Dexter Lawrence. You plug him in the middle. Thumbs up the stream. I do appreciate that. And Stealth Raven, I really appreciate the love, man. Thank you for being here. They need God too. They could certainly use God. And if you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell. We could use a backup running back. We definitely could use that Brandon Jacobs type running back, that short yardage back. If you want to get one of those guys in the 5th round, something like that. We have not. Wayne Gallman hasn't gotten it done. Yeah, I agree with that. We need somebody who could spell Barkley, get those short yardage, be a good pass blocker. We could use that. We could definitely use that. Mike Nixon, too many people in here. Just type it again. I will try to see it. Are pretzels a chip, King Trizzy says. I'd consider it a chip. Yeah, sure. Why not? I think it's a chip. Is Eli definitely retiring or is he going somewhere else? Don't know. He will not be starting with the Giants next year. That much I know. That I could say for certain. Oh, thank you so much, Chris Leon, for the $2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, all I want for Christmas is Chase Young. I think everybody in this chat that's a Giant fan, that's what they want for Christmas. I think they'd give up whatever they're going to get for Christmas to get Chase Young underneath their Christmas tree. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Leonard Williams got to go, in my opinion. Thoughts, anyone? It depends on what the contract's going to be. I think he has value. I don't think he's worth a big contract. Would you get number 56 to mentor Young? If he wanted to do it. I don't know if that's where he is in his life, if he'd want that role. But who better to learn from? I mean, as long as he's not doing coke, who better to learn from? Chris, make me a cannoli. What's up, Angel? I can't make you cannolis while I'm on stream. What are you talking about? Would you rather have Chase Young in the bet or beat the Eagles twice this year? That's a great question. I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, Chase Young. But I can't control what the players do on the field. So, I can't. I want them to beat the Eagles. Because I can't control what other teams do. I can't control what the players do. They're playing to win. They're not going to intentionally lose. So I'm of the mindset of let's just let it play out. Let's see what happens. If we get Chase Young, great. That's my mindset. But I would love, I want Chase Young. Dante Fowler's a free agent thoughts. Dante Fowler's a guy with a lot of high upside. I don't know how exactly he's doing this year. I think the Rams acquired him last year, right? And, high upside. Edge rusher, was an early first-round pick. Still young. For the right deal, yeah, why not? Bring him in. That's the type of player we need to get. We need to get those younger 25, 26-year-old free agents like a Conklin that fit, and like a Leonard Williams, that fit the direction of this team. I don't want to be signing 29, 30-year-olds. So, yeah, for the right price, I'd be open to him. I like Ngakoue as well, if he becomes available. I mean, the Jaguars could franchise him. The Jaguars could retain him. But, yeah, that's the type of player I want. What's going on? And we got time. He says, who's our two starting safeties next year, you think? I think Love. I think the two guys we got right now, Peppers and Love. Love's played great. He's got like an 85 PFF rating since he's been in there. Love's been great for the Giants. So, I think the two guys we got in there, we got a young safety duo to build around. Let's see what we got here. As an Eagles fan, I hope you beat us twice this year. Really? What? Because you don't want us getting Chase Young, or you just want to get beat? Coach of the year this year. I was actually talking about this with a couple of my subscribers today. There are a lot of candidates who could win Coach of the Year. There really is. You could go Pete Carroll. I think the Seahawks have overachieved at 10-2. You could go Shanahan of the 49ers, same thing, 10-2. You could go Gruden, 6-6 to Raiders. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. There's a couple of others. I can't remember off the top of my head that we said. But, those are the three names that popped in my head. I'm sure there's a couple more. But, yeah, those are the guys, in my opinion, that first guys that popped in my head. Harbaugh, too, of course. That was the guy wasn't thinking above the Ravens, too. He's in there. I don't think he's a sure thing. I think those other two guys are very much in it. Tomlin, that was the other one. Tomlin, he needs consideration with the Steelers. With all the injuries they sustained, Mike Tomlin needs consideration with the Steelers. 100%. He's up there. Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers make the playoffs, Tomlin might be the favorite. And Buffalo's coach, I don't even know his name off the top of my head, but the Bills coach should be up in consideration as well. Yeah, Tomlin needs consideration. Definitely. Breaking. James Betcher was seen packing his bags and leaving the Giants facility with all the facilities food. I believe that. Best rookie on the team, Dexter Lawrence. But Slayton's really good, too. Oh, Shake Money. Oh, let me get hold. Thank you guys so much. Let me get that real quick. Shake Money with a $5 super chat. Benzanese, I assume you're a Dolphins fan, so we're competing with you for Chase Young. He says, will you and Dougly Do Wrong, a Dolphins YouTuber who's from your hometown, collaborate? Next week, we will be at the game. Love your content. Absolutely. I don't watch Dolphin video makers, but I would definitely go on his channel or vice versa. I'm always open to collaborating with. Matter of fact, that's one thing I want to do next year. I want to set that up. I got to plan that out ahead of time. I want to have a content creator from each team each week to discuss the game live for an hour, something like that. So definitely, and I really do appreciate that, man. And yeah, I'm gonna forget it, but after the live stream, if you comment in my comments, not in the chat, in the actual comments, and send me his channel link, I'll go over there and yeah, maybe you can message me on Twitter, whatever. But yeah, I would definitely go on his channel or vice versa, whatever. And Wookie Skinner, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, HB, the Giants hire Ron and keep Shermer as the OC. Wookie, I completely think that is the perfect scenario, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's Fantasyland. I don't think that the Giants would demote Shermer, and I don't think Shermer would take the demotion. But I think it's perfect because you don't screw up your quarterback's head. He keeps the same system, and you get a better leader in there at head coach, a guy that's a proven winner. That's perfect. If we could do that, if we could convince, we should start a petition. If we could convince Giants ownership to say, you know what, we don't hate Pat. We know he's good with quarterbacks. We'll let him be the OC, but we don't want him to be the head coach. If we could do that, let's start the petition right now. Let's do it. But I don't think Shermer's a head coach. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The other reason why this wouldn't work. The head coach coming in is not going to want to be told. Could you imagine the pressure? Like if Ron Rivera comes in. Let's say Ron Rivera comes in. Do you think he's going to want the guy who was just coaching this team being his offensive coordinator? I mean, let's think realistically. I don't. So that's another reason why it would never work. The head coach isn't going to want the prior head coach to be on his coaching staff. If you keep showing up, you get a wrench. My wrench gang decides who gets them. I don't give out the wrenches, but we usually give out one a stream. But yeah, they'll tell me after the stream, whatever. I always give out one a stream. If you keep showing up, you get one eventually. Fizdale's out, Paul. Fizdale's out. Stand up, New Jersey. I thought you had a Spanish test. You told me you had a Spanish test. I hope you passed it. What is Discord for us in informed? If Jake or somebody from my Discord wants to post it, it's just like a chat room. I go in there. I talk to my subscribers all the time. We're talking sports all day long. It's just a way to get, talk to your community. So it's cool. We talk Giants. We talk whatever. Talk about cannolis. A lot of cannoli talk. But yeah, there it is. Slurpee just posted it. Thank you, Slurpee, man. And yeah, that's the Discord right there. Obviously, you gotta create a Discord name, and we talk sports in there all the time. I think there's about 200 people or so in there right now, and it's fun. I gotta promote it more in my videos. Love the videos, man. Keep it up. Highlighted my. Oh man, Andrew, I really appreciate that, man. That's when people say stuff like that. I forgot who it was. Somebody told me that they would waiting all day for me to do this stream like that. That's what encourages me more than anything to make videos and to do live streams and to talk Giants football. Is when people say things like that. So I really appreciate that, man. Entertainer, do you have an Instagram? I don't use it. I'm actually in the process of. I'm probably gonna delete my Instagram account and start from scratch. I got to get on that. And when I do, I will announce it. I'll start from scratch. Antonio Brown, comeback player of the year. Anything's possible. I wouldn't rule it out. The Giants will never. Somebody brought him up. I forgot who it was as a possibility. The Giants are never going to bring on Antonio Brown. Never. If Gettleman got fired, what would happen to Leonard Williams? If Gettleman got fired, that's another story. Then Leonard Williams is probably not coming back. I'm sorry. Once Shermer's gone, I don't want him anywhere near Jones. That's fair, Stephen Louis. I'm just thinking of it from the stability of the quarterback position. You don't want your quarterback to be... If we're going to do it now. And I'm going to tell you this right now. For everybody that... And I don't mind firing Sherman. He's done a horrible job. He's a bad head coach. But for everybody that's saying, get rid of him, you have got to have patience with the next head coach. We cannot be one of these teams that fires a coach in the first year of Daniel Jones' career. We bring in another coach, and then a year later, everybody says, get rid of Ron Rivera. Or get whoever we bring in. I don't care if they're 1-15. You can't do it. Because then you're going to have 3 head coaches in 3 different years. Daniel Jones is going to be reading the playbook like it's Chinese. He's going to be like, what? Now, wait, you wanted me to do this system. Now you got me doing this system. And now you want me to do this system. Can't do it. Can't do it. If we fire Pat Shurmur, you have got to have patience with the next head coach. And the Giants better get it right. Better get it right. Do you think Eli will throw a pick or have a great game? I think he's gonna have a pretty good game. I don't think he's gonna have a great game. Do you think? No water. I got water. I'm just finishing my coffee, and then I'm gonna get to the water. Entertaining. Hypothetical. Say the Bengals shock and take Chase Young, Andrew Thomas. If that was the question, Andrew Thomas would be my second choice. Stability is great, but if you got a head coach who can't do the basics, listen, I'm okay with moving on from Shurmur, but we got to be patient with the next head coach. That's all I'm going to say. And the Giants better get it right. Otherwise, you're going to ruin Daniel Jones' career. Chris, Chinese is easy to learn, Angel Lopez says. Listen, LMA, I would be completely fine with bringing in Ngakoue. Imagine your former boss being the secretary, that's Pat, to the OC. Yeah. If the Giants get first and Bengals, would you want to swap to get more picks? What's the question? If we're picking first, swap with the Bengals to get more picks? I don't know your exact question. But I'm all for trading down if the right package is available. Always am. We have way too many holes. I want Eli back next year to start. It's not going to happen. I know you love Eli. I love Eli, Luan. It's not going to happen. We took Daniel Jones 6th overall. He's on a rookie contract. In the NFL, you only get 5 years under a rookie contract. Once that rookie contract expires, now instead of paying Jones $5 million a year, you got to pay him $35. By that time, $40. Got to take advantage of that now while you still have him on a rookie contract. Can't have it. You can't. I love Eli. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to bring him back. Once they drafted Daniel Jones, Eli Manning was done. That's just the way the NFL works nowadays. We needed everybody wants a defensive head coach. Everybody wants a defensive head coach. I agree with that. We've had 2 offensive minds. Our last 2 coaches, two former OCs. I completely agree with that. We need to. If it ain't working one way, you got to try the other. You got to try the other way. I agree. I want a defensive coach as well. I like Greg Williams. That's a good one, Chuck Sharks. I like Greg Williams. And I'll get to the Daniel Jones comparison in a second. Matthew Wookie, thanks for the love, man. $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Watch the Giants hire Eli as their next quarterback coach. I'd be all for that, okay? I don't think Eli would want that. But if he did, I'm all for it. Eli Manning is the greatest quarterback in the history of the franchise. I don't think so. Maybe he comes back in some kind of mentor-type way in training camp. I don't think he's ever going to be a coach. I just don't. I don't think it's in his personality. But I could be completely wrong. He definitely could be. He's more than capable of it. Daniel Jones comparison. Okay. As far as Daniel Jones comparison, I would say, and it's not an insult, I don't want to be one of these guys that gives you crazy expectations, okay? I've seen articles that said Peyton Manning. No. My Daniel Jones comparison, in my opinion, is Alex Smith. That's who I think he is with a little bit better arm strength. I think he's got the mobility of an Alex Smith. He's got to work on his fumbling problems, but I think he could be Alex Smith with a little more arm strength. If he's developed properly and they get him the right support system. And that's a good quarterback. Alex Smith is a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's a winning quarterback. You could win Super Bowls with an Alex Smith. That's who I think. That's who my comparison is. Let's see. We got. Yeah, better arm. I'll tell you what. Alex Smith had. I don't know if he's got better mobility. Alex Smith's pretty mobile. Alex Smith could run. I think Alex Smith. Let's see. Oh, man, thank you so much, man. Shake Money for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. He says, all-time favorite, Eli Manning or Phil Simms. Okay, I don't go back to Phil Simms. I mean, I do, but barely. I was born in 85, so I didn't really get to appreciate Phil Simms. I didn't get to appreciate Lawrence Taylor. Eli Manning's my favorite Giant ever. And I think Eli Manning's the best Giant quarterback ever. Now, Phil Simms technically won 2 Super Bowls, but obviously Hostetler was the quarterback for the second one. Eli Manning's my favorite, not just quarterback, my favorite Giant ever. And I think he's the best Giant quarterback, at least in modern day. The old timers will tell you Y.A. Tittle and things of that nature, but in modern day football, Eli Manning's, I think, the best quarterback the Giants ever had. Do you see Matt Ryan and Daniel Jones? Maybe a little bit. I see more Alex Smith. Actually, more Alex Smith. Who do you think the 4 will be for college football? I'm not a huge college guy, but I know that Bad Dog needed, I think, Utah to lose tonight for Oklahoma to have a chance to get in. I don't think they're going to get in. LSU's going to get in. Bama's out now. LSU plays Georgia, right? So if Georgia were to beat LSU, they'd both get in. Clemson's in. And who's at the top again? LSU's at the top right now. They're one. Oh, Captain Trips, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, you told me to leave my Tannehill jersey in the closet. I demand an apology. I told you to. I'll tell you what. Ryan Tannehill, Captain Trips. Ryan Tannehill. I don't remember saying that to you, but Ryan Tannehill, Ohio State, of course. They're the best team in the country. Chase Young University. Ryan Tannehill this year, and that's another guy people have compared Daniel Jones to. I'll tell you what. I always thought Tannehill had good tools. I remember when the Dolphins took Tannehill with the 7th pick, I think it was, on draft night. What's up, Sonor? Thanks for popping back in. On draft night, I'm saying to myself, what are they doing? This guy's a project. But then when I watched him play his rookie year, I said Ryan Tannehill could be a good quarterback. And I do see some similarities to Daniel Jones with Ryan Tannehill. And that's not even a knock, because maybe Tannehill's a lot better than we thought. Because Adam Gase sucks. And maybe he didn't develop Tannehill. Because I remember watching Tannehill early in his career and being like, this guy's going to be a good quarterback. Tannehill's doing a good job over there. I was never a fan of Mariota. He's probably gonna stay there, Tannehill, for a while. He's doing a good job over there. Yeah, I never got to see. I mean, if you want to go back to the old timers, Tarkenton, maybe. But thanks again for the love, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Honestly, let's say we pick second. If I own the Giants, I get rid of all coaches, and as much as I like Gettleman, I would clean house and get rid of him too. So you're saying if we had the second pick, you would clear house. Because why? Because you don't trust Gettleman with the second pick? Is that your reasoning? Also, if you had the second pick, you'd probably be able to track a lot of head coaches. Because you'll be like, oh, well, you're getting Chase Young. So it is a bargaining chip. Chris, would you hire someone from the Bills front office as our next GM if we need one? Listen, it's not a bad suggestion. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know, the front office of Buffalo, but I love Buffalo. I love the way Buffalo's constructed that roster. Big Blue for Life. They were one of my sleeper teams this year. At the beginning of the year, I had them going to the playoffs. I looked at them and I said, they're building their team the right way. They got a top 5 defense the year before. Their offensive line sucks. They went out there, they brought in 6 new offensive linemen, and now this is a real football team. And you see the difference it's making with their quarterback, Josh Allen. They also got him a couple of weapons. Buffalo had an unbelievable offseason. They did a great job. They didn't sign any flashy players like the Jets did. This is how you know this is the way to build a roster. The Jets and the Bills had about the same amount of money. The Bills spend it on guys like Cole Beasley and offensive linemen. The Jets spend it on a flashy running back, a linebacker, and a slot wide receiver. The Bills are 9-3. You win in the trenches. Period. You win in the trenches. Yeah, Cole Beasley and John Brown at wide receiver. How do you feel about the Mets this year? Will they get anyone good? I'm hoping they get Rendon, but I think they need to improve in the bullpen. Thank you for posting the Discord right there. I want Mike McCarthy. I also want a GM. Gettleman drafts well, but can't trade for anything. A lot of people like McCarthy. I'm not the biggest fan of McCarthy. I personally think McCarthy's a little overrated. I'm not going to be upset if we get him. The guy's a Super Bowl winning coach, but Aaron Rodgers certainly helped him. But I can't deny he's had a winning track record. I'm not going to be upset if they bring in McCarthy. He wouldn't be my first choice, though. Football is won and lost in the trenches. Paul Bryan, I'm 100% won and lost in the trenches. It's about needs at free agency, not big names. Exactly, Jared Hopkins. Exactly. You don't want the flashy names. You want to fill. You want to create depth on your roster, like the Bills did in free agency. Bills did a great job this year in free agency. The Mets owner will immediately have a 50% stake when it's official. Would you want Betts this next offseason? He's not a free agent this year, right? Is it the year after that? Red Sox are rumored to be looking to trade him. I don't know his contract details. I know it's trade rumors right now, though, not free agency. Mike McCarthy reminds me of the fat guy from Home Alone. He does a little bit, yeah. I like Edelman, and I trust him, but I don't like his total control. You want stability, and to get that, you need a coach who controls the team and has impact on picks. Yeah, that's what scares me about Gettleman. I think coaches are going to be scared to come here knowing that he's the GM. I'm not saying all will be, but top-tier head coaches are going to be scared. I really believe that, and I hope I'm wrong. But maybe Rivera won't because they've worked together. But that's what I worry about. Bills took Ed Oliver first and Cody Ford second. Yeah, they also drafted very well. Ed Oliver was my third favorite defensive player in this year's draft. And Cody Ford, in my opinion, the Giants should have taken when they traded up at the end of that first round. Even though I loved Baker, hindsight 2020, they should have taken Cody Ford or Juwan Taylor. But Taylor hasn't played that well. If Matt Rule is defensive or offensive focused head coach, Mikey, he's a former linebacker. He was a linebacker's coach. He then became an offensive line coach with the assistant offensive line coach with the Giants. I don't know for sure, but I think he's more of a defensive mind. He was a linebacker in college, and he was a linebacker's coach at first. I know that. Who do you think has better quarterbacks in franchise history, Eagles or Giants? If I'm being completely honest, at least in recent history, if you're talking, I think Eli Manning, in my humble opinion, is better than any quarterback you guys have ever had, at least in recent history. But as a whole, I got to go Eagles. I mean, you guys had Cunningham, you got McNabb. Wentz was good. Foles won you a Super Bowl. Jaworski was pretty good. As a whole, I got to go Eagles. But the best, I'm going Eli. You just smashed your teeth. I'm sorry to hear that, Jared Williams. I just think Ron Rivera makes perfect sense. When he was a D coordinator, his defense is ranked number one and number. Yeah, I think he's a perfect fit if you could get him. Definitely, at least as a D coordinator. Michael Vick, yeah. Chris, do you think Daniel Jones is confident in himself? Yeah, actually, I do. That's one of the things I like about Daniel Jones, Sonor. That's one of the things that I've been most impressed about Daniel Jones this year. If you could tell me, name one thing about DJ that you're impressed with the most, it's his confidence. It's what I saw in Eli Manning when Eli Manning was young. He is not scared to make mistakes. I'll say that. I'm impressed with that. I do think he's confident. Clocks, how many GMs have had 2 picks? Answer, none. Gettleman sucks, elephant fart. Clocks hates Gettleman. He hates Gettleman. Well, to be fair, Clocks, he didn't inherit. He inherited the number 2 pick. So that number 2 pick wasn't because of him. Now, this one you could argue is, but the first one, that's Jerry Reese's number 2 pick. It's not Dave Gettleman's. If you're going to be completely fair and unbiased. DJ has to clean up the fumbles for the future. I agree. That's his biggest weakness. Tighten up. What's going on? Captain Trips says, tighten up. I'll tell you what, Captain Trips. Your Titans, I'll be the first to tell you, that's the team every year I underestimate. Every year I have you guys penciled in for 5 or 6 wins, and every year you're like 9 wins. You guys, and maybe you guys do some damage this year because you guys are starting to get a little hot. If you guys could sneak into the playoffs, Titans are playing well right now. Chris, pull up the photo that you posted earlier. Oh, I don't have. I don't know where it is. But it's in my community notes. I don't know where it is right now. 9-7 3 straight years. Yeah, they're always like 8-9 wins. Titans should make the playoffs. Yeah, right now they're hot. They're playing well. Yeah, I like Derrick Henry a lot. One of my favorite players. You know who Derrick Henry reminds me of? Brandon Jacobs. That big, mauling running back. I like Derrick Henry. Thoughts on DJ and D? Listen, Justin, they got great chemistry. Hopefully that's a great duo for years to come. That's one of the most encouraging things of this season has been the chemistry between Daniel Jones and Darius Slayton. That's one of the positives to take from this year. Not many of the positives to take, but that's one of them. Oh, dog, McCaffrey. Are you kidding me, Zachary? McCaffrey over there. McCaffrey's the best running back in football this year. McCaffrey. Do you think DeAndre Baker is that lazy, or is James Betcher that bad at developing talent? I think it's in the middle. I do. I don't think DeAndre Baker's necessarily worked as hard as he should be, but I don't. It seems to me, you take the video I did today about Janoris Jenkins. It doesn't seem to me that James Betcher is willing to make common sense adjustments. Like that Chicago Bears game. And I get it. I'm trying to be fair. I get where Betcher's coming from in the sense that I've got all rookies and I don't want to be moving them around the football field because I want them to get familiar and comfortable with their roles. So I get that aspect of it. But when you got Ballantyne in the slot, getting torched, play after play after play after play, I get that you don't want to bench Ballantyne, but try to do something. Switch it up. Mirror their top wide receiver. Do something. Make an adjustment. So I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. Let's be real, peeps. Would D. Slay be a starting wide receiver on any other team in the NFL? I think he would be. Norman Watson. I definitely think he would be, the way he's played. I'm not saying all the teams, but I definitely think he would be. Did you tell me he wouldn't start on the Redskins? He'd probably start on the Titans. I think he'd start on other teams in the NFL. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley would be a beast duo. Yes, it would be. Answer this. What is our worst position this season, and how can we change that going forward? It's a great question, Slurpee. And I'll answer it in a second. Chris Leon, thank you so much, man, for the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Do you think Greg Roman would be a next head coach? A lot of people have brought up Greg Roman, offensive line coach. A lot of people like him. It's going to be a guy that's in consideration. That's definitely going to be another one of the hot shot candidates. He's definitely like one of the top 5 most named guys. So, could be. And thank you again. And as far as Slurpee's question goes, what was it again? The weakest position? What is our worst position this season, and how can we change that going forward? We got a lot of bad positions, but I would probably say the tackles. As a combined, the right and left tackles being as important as they are. I think that has been the worst position on our football team. It might not be the worst in terms of talent, but factoring in how important those positions are, that is what needs to be improved. And the pass rusher, obviously, but collectively, the right and left tackle, and how it's improved, we need to draft. We need to draft early in the draft offensive line. We need to get young. We don't have young offensive linemen. We need to create depth on that offensive line. I think that's our biggest weakness right now. Coaching is the worst position. No, we cannot pass on Young. We're taking Young if he's there. Worst team in the NFL? New York Giants. Right now, the New York Giants. That's the cold, hard truth. Now, talent-wise, it might not be, but right now, they're the worst team in the NFL. What are the odds OBJ goes to the Raiders next year? I haven't read the rumors. I didn't even bother making a video on that because I am so sick of reading about OBJ. He's said in the past that he'd want to go to the Patriots. I don't think the Raiders would take him on. But you never know. They took on Antonio Brown. You never know. Yeah, the Giants are bad, Tom. Giants are bad. And I hope you're an Eagles fan because and maybe you're not, but if you guys lose to the Giants, how embarrassing would that be? You lose to the Dolphins when you give up 37 points, and then you lose to the worst team in football at home on Monday Night Football to end your season. And it wouldn't even end your season because the NFC East is that piss poor. But how embarrassing would that be for a team that was supposed to go 13-3, 12-4? All I heard about from Eagles fans, oh yeah, Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that. Bullshit. You can make an argument that the Eagles are in a worse situation than any other team in football for the next 5 years. Because you've backloaded all your contracts, you've bought in, and everybody praises Howie Roseman. He's a jackass. He doesn't know what he's doing. Period. Eagles are in big trouble. Book it. You had to say, we can't pass on Young, but we also said you can't pass on Josh Allen, and look what happened. You're right, Mike Nixon, but Chase Young to me is a slam dunk, and we already have the quarterback in place. Ron Rivera and Mike Shula have a good history together. Cam Newton has never been the same without calling the plays. Yes, they do have a good history together, as well as Dave Gettleman, our current GM. When do you think the NFC East will go back to how it was in the not for a while? Because I don't think the Eagles and Cowboys, the Eagles in particular, I don't think have a bright future. I think they're going to need to rebuild in a couple of years. I think the Giants are a couple of years from being really good. I think the Redskins are a couple of years away from being really good. And who knows with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Eagles are completely blank for the next 2 to 3 years. That right? Yeah, they're dead. They're dead. I've been warning them all year. Their top 11 players they can't cut make up 75% of their cap. Carson Wentz isn't what he was. They're dead. They're dead. They're the most overrated team in football since the super team, the Philadelphia Eagles, when we won the Super Bowl. They're dead. Who would be our next GM? Who should be our next GM coach? I think Gettleman's going to be the GM. I really do. And Matt Rule or Ron Rivera will be my top 2 choices right now. How do you feel about Rashad Jennings? He sucked. He was horrible. Shula should be retained as company and a play calling duty. He's one staffer I would keep. He hasn't done much. If the new head coach is happy with him, if we bring in one, fine, but he hasn't done much. I always go on who's picking first as worst team of the year, just me. Yeah, all right, so we're second worst. Us or the Bengals. Who do you think will be your 16,000 sub? I have no idea, Slurpee, but whoever does, hopefully they announce it so they let me know. Would you trade with Dallas for any possible O-line if they decide to pay all the superstars? Sure, but why would Dallas trade within the division knowing that the Giants' biggest weakness is our offensive line? Why would they do that? I don't see them helping us. Doesn't make sense to me. Giants draft stupid, but Chase Young will be on the board, and you all draft like a kicker. So, no, J.J. Trilla, the king of the Cowboy trolls. No, he's always fun. He's respectful. Comes in and tells me we're drafting a kicker. You're out of your mind. Okay, we're taking Chase Young if he's there. Who will be your million sub? Fun with education. Hopefully I get there. Hopefully I get even close to a million subs. Let's get to 16,000 first, and then we'll worry about a million. Baby steps. If Aldrich Roses sucks again next season, Giants got to go to Rodrigo Hot Rod Blankenship late in the 2020 draft. Listen, I would not be upset at all if we moved on from our current kicker. He's the worst kicker. He's probably the worst kicker in football this year. I can't imagine anybody being much worse. He's horrendous. Actually, the Cowboys kicker is really bad too. But he's really bad. And he had a great year the year before. And I think it's mental at this point. Maybe he gets things going, but he's been really bad. Respect the specs. Chris, you pimping your hose? Oh, all the time, Angel Lopez. Pimping the hose. Pimping him. It's the Bears kicker. Oh, yeah. The double doink, and then they bring in the new kicker this year, and he's been bad too. The Bears, they got the worst luck. That team. I'll tell you, he's bad. He is bad. I was calling the game last night. He missed a 42-yarder, and didn't he miss an extra point too? I don't remember. He's really bad. And the thing with him is he'll hit the deep kicks, but he won't hit the short ones. Oh, Stephen Lloyd, thank you so much, man, for the £2 super chat. You can forget about it. He says, to all Cowgirls, I hope the Skins pip you to division. I hope the Skins win the division too, Lily. They're not going to, but I hope they do. They got a tough schedule. They got to win their last 4 games, and then they need they play the Cowboys and the Eagles. If the Redskins won out, they'd probably win the division. I don't think they're going to. But if I could pick one team, I'll pick them. You a dark? No, I put the sweetener. I put the sweetener in the coffee. If the Giants were to blow up and become super popular, channel would too. I appreciate that, Mikey, and they will. The Giants. Listen, Giants fans, I promise you, I could not have started you. I always say it, Mikey. I could not have started YouTube in terms of success at a worse time. I just did it for a hobby. I said I'm a Giants fan, but I mean, the Giants have been one of the worst teams in football, and you guys have supported me anyway. You guys tune into my live streams. You watch my videos regardless, even though my team is horrendous. And when they get good, yeah, I think the YouTube channel will get much bigger when they get good, and they're going to get good. I promise you. The Giants will get good. I don't know if it's going to be in a million years or not. It might take a million years. But if we're all still alive in a million years, the Giants will be good. No, I'm kidding. I think the Giants will be good soon. I don't know if it'll be next year. It might be 2 years, but I do think the Giants will flip it around soon. Dark was sucked. He was okay actually. Orleans Dark was okay. And yeah, smash that like button. Who was worse, Orleans Dark or Rashad Jennings? It's pretty close. I think Rashad Jennings cost us more, so I'll say Rashad Jennings was worse. He was a free agent. If the Giants planned on drafting Daniel Jones, why didn't they use the 6th pick on Josh Allen and then use the Browns pick on him? What do you mean the Browns? Oh, you're the 17th pick? Well, on draft night, Matthew, that's why I reacted the way I did. That was my thinking on draft night. Because I thought Daniel Jones would be there at 17. Because by every expert, everybody said Daniel Jones is a late first, early second round pick. So I said, why the hell are we taking him 6th when we could get Josh Allen? We could have taken Daniel Jones anyway at 17. But in my honest opinion, and I could be wrong, and it could be nonsense, it could be smoke, I honestly believe that he would not have gotten a 17. You read all the reports that Jay Gruden wanted him badly of the Redskins, who ended up taking Haskins at 15. There were also rumors that other teams may have wanted him. I don't think Jones gets to us at 17, but the argument you could make is they could have taken Josh Allen and tried to trade up to 9 or 10 and taken Daniel Jones that way. You can make that argument. But I don't think he would have lasted to 17. I really don't. No, I don't think OBJ will be back in a Giants uniform. I could be wrong, but I really don't think so. Stand up, Kristaps Porzingis. As a Dolphin fan, I hate the Bills. Who do you hate the most? Eagles. Can't wait. Can't wait to play them on Monday night. I hate the Eagles. Hate them. We got nothing to lose because they're supposed to beat us. And if we lose, we get that much closer to Chase Young. We got nothing to lose. And if we win, oh my God, I get to ruin their season. It's a win-win for Giants fans. We got nothing to lose. And we're going to Philadelphia. We're supposed to get killed. Oh, it's great. It's going to be great Monday night. There's no pressure here. No pressure. Clorox or Lysol, both. Both, simultaneously. Keep that grind up, Pops. I appreciate that, Sonora. I don't think the Redskins wanted him. Maybe not, Tommy T, but Jay Gruden, from all reports, wanted him badly. Steely says that Nutter-loving quarterback Broncos Elway wanted Jones too. We heard the rumors with that as well. He ended up taking Drew Lock in the second round. Eagles are going to win the East. They probably will. They got a softer schedule than the Cowboys. It doesn't matter. Whoever wins the East isn't going to do anything. Maybe they win a playoff game because they'll be at home, but I don't even think they'll do that because you're going to be playing a team like the Seahawks or the 49ers in the first round. But even if they were to beat them, they're not going to win in the second round. They're not going to go into New Orleans or Green Bay and win, even though the Eagles did beat them in Lambeau Field earlier this year. But I don't see it. I don't see it. Do you think the Giants are going to win? In all honesty, no. No. But I think they could, but I'm not going to pick them. Steelers or Browns? Who's better? Steelers. I picked the Steelers to win the division at the beginning of the year. I think a lot of people were sleeping on them. Now, of course, I didn't think Ben Roethlisberger was going to get hurt. And had Ben Roethlisberger not gotten hurt, I probably would have been, well, no, the Ravens are that good. I still would have been wrong. But the Steelers are better than the Browns. The Browns are paper champions. They've been overrated since the beginning of the year. And what is going on, Whitney? Thanks for popping into the stream. Can you read my last comment, please? I'll try my best, Kevin Cronin. You're going to have to type it again. I went up like 50 people. I don't see it. Chris, we have a legitimate chance at the number 1 overall. The Bengals play the Dolphins. Yeah, we do. But you know what? I personally, as a Giants fan, if you're hoping for a better draft pick, I want the Dolphins to win that game. I don't care if the Bengals get the number 1 pick. They're going to take a quarterback. Get the Dolphins out of the way. Let the Dolphins win that game. I'd much rather secure that number 2 pick. I think the Bengals are taking a quarterback. So I'd rather the Dolphins win than the Bengals win. Much rather the Dolphins win than the Bengals win. Baker Mayfield has more. I agree. Baker Mayfield has way more commercials than touchdowns. Chad, what's going on, Chad? He says we're going 1-3 these last 4 games. Probably. I think we'll squeak out a win. I think we'll get 1 win. I agree with that. 1 or 2 wins. I think we're either going to go 2-2 or 1-3. I agree with that. I'm late. What I miss? Are we talking a win Monday? City for real. What's going on, my man? We're talking Giants football. We're talking about the game. We're talking about Eli. We're talking about off season. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll probably go to 10:30 tonight. Probably call it at 10:30 because I got to get up pretty early tomorrow. But we'll go another half hour, 35 minutes. Would you be okay with Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator? Yeah, but I don't think he'd take the job. I think Rex Ryan, if he's leaving that cushy desk job, he's going to want a head coaching job. A lot of people have asked me that. I don't see him coming back to the NFL to be a DC. If he's coming back, he's going to be a head coach. Who are you going for in the play? Oh, you got to go with both at the same time. Angels, Cialis and Viagra. But who am I going for in the playoffs? I'm going for the Packers. They're the team I picked at the beginning of the year to go to the Super Bowl of the NFC. So I'm going to go with the Packers. That's who I'm going to root for. And LA Luke, thank you so much, man, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. He says, I suggested this to Bad Dog. If Rivera gets hired, pray he brings in Norv Turner with him to open up the offense and develop Daniel Jones. Norv Turner was known to be a great offensive mind. Now, I don't know how old Norv Turner is now. I don't even know. How old is Norv Turner now? But yeah, he was known to be a really good offensive mind. Possibly. I don't think that would happen, but in a dream scenario, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know how old he is, though. Do you think Hulu commercials are... He's 1,000. Do you think Hulu commercials are bad luck because both Saquon and Baker had them over the offseason and both have stepped back from last year? I think you're thinking way too much, Mikey. I think you're thinking way too much. 67, yeah, Norv Turner's got a great offensive mind, but I don't see it. They're gonna go young. Ron Rivera at DC. I'd welcome that with open arms. With arms wide open. I'd want him as the head coach, but he'd be a great DC. I'd be completely fine with him as the defensive coordinator. Oh, thank you. Obi-Wan Kenobi with the $2 super chat. You can't forget about it. Says, can this season end already? Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan, and I get it. We're all miserable. Every NFC East fan in here is miserable. Everybody did worse than we hoped. This is a tough year for this division. Yeah. I can't wait for the draft. Is Eli the most loved Giant of all time? No. Because half the fan base doesn't like him. I shouldn't say that. But a portion of the fan base doesn't like him. I think Lawrence Taylor is the most loved Giant of all time. I don't even think it's a debate. I don't think there's a Giant fan who hates Lawrence Taylor. If you're a Giants fan, how could you hate Lawrence Taylor? I love Eli Manning, but I would say Lawrence Taylor is the most loved Giant of all time. Yeah. Okay, Pee Wee, it's 3 a.m. and I need some sleep. All right, Lily, man. Thanks for popping into the stream, my man. Jeff Fiegels, yes, hell of a punter. Chip Kelly, hell of a punter. We are sick of him, but we love him. Slurpee says, you should love him. Crack is whack, Jesse Reza. Chris, would you ring my bell? Joe Theismann, yeah, you remember Joe Theismann, yeah, you remember what LT did to Joe Theismann, which, obviously I'm not glad he injured him, but that's, a highlight play of Lawrence Taylor's. Do we keep Pat Shurmur as the offensive coordinator since Daniel Jones? People have said that all night, Raekwon. And in a fantasy land, sure, it's not going to happen. Because, one, I don't think Pat Shurmur would take the demotion, but even if he would, you're going to hinder yourself on possible head coach guys to bring in because you're forcing them to take on Pat Shurmur as the OC. And what head coach would want to come in having the former head coach underneath them? I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think it's a great idea. People have brought it up. I just don't see it. Remember when Ray Lewis smoked Brady? Yeah, I remember that. And Ray Lewis was a monster. He is the best linebacker I've ever seen in their prime. He was a monster. Cocaine is out. Me too. I always rather the Dolphins win. Oh, you're talking about tanking. This ain't remember the Titans, John May says. Who do you have winning the NFC East? Eagles. Yeah, I think the Eagles. They have a softer schedule down the stretch, and I think that they'll beat the Cowboys when they play heads up. But I could be wrong. I have the Eagles, though. You know what? I picked the Cowboys at the beginning of the year. I'm sticking with the Cowboys. And you have a great night, Cabrera. Thank you for tuning in the stream. James Harden has 67 made free throws in his last 5 games. Lonzo Ball has 62 made free throws in his entire career. That's crazy. James Harden's like a cheat code. He gets to the free throw line like at least 10 times every game. Eli might be the second most loved Giant ever. I mean, some of those old-time Giants, though, are very loved. Mark Bavaro was very loved. Michael Strahan was very loved. Justin Tuck was very loved. Victor Cruz was very loved. Yeah, there's a lot of loved Giants. I don't know if he's the second most loved all time. Harry Carson, very loved. Yeah. My uncle used to sell crack to Cowboy players in the 90s. I'm proud of that, man. I believe that. Yeah, well, that was Chris Sonor's favorite Giant of all time, was Lawrence Tynes, the kicker for the New York Giants. Kicked us to the Super Bowl twice. Dave Meggett, that's a good call, City for real. Dave Meggett was a very popular New York Giant. Norv Turner's 67. Well, there you go. Norv Turner is not. I don't think he's too old. He's too old. But it is a good idea if he was 10 years younger, 5 years younger. I don't see them bringing in somebody who's almost 70 to be a coordinator. Giants need Chase Young. We need him. I agree. You're not going to hear me debate that. When should the Cowboys hire Urban Meyer? They need someone with intelligence. The Cowboys have the same problem that the Giants have, in my opinion, with Dave Gettleman. Is if I'm a head coach, do I want to go to a situation where Jerry Jones is my owner? I'm a puppet if I go there. That's the problem the Cowboys have with in my opinion, with attracting a high-profile head coach. They have a great roster, so maybe they'll be able to do it. But Jerry Jones is definitely a deterrent there. So, we'll see. Mikey says, Victor Cruz is still my all-time favorite, but Shep is catching up. Everybody loves Shep. He's a tough player, good blocker. I loved Victor Cruz. Short-lived, but I loved him. Jerry Jones should become the head coach for the last 3 games. Derrick Henry's a free agent. Again, depends. I mean, if you get him on a cheap deal, sure, but I don't want to be spending a lot of our cap space on a running back, being that Saquon Barkley is our running back. I'd rather just draft a big running back than spend money on a guy that's going to get us 7-8 carries a game. Barkley's still going to be the focal point of the offense. But we could use a running back like that, for sure. I met him at a Red Bulls game and wore his Super Bowl ring. Who are you talking about, Lawrence Tynes? Giants suck. You're right, Dallas Cowboys, and you should be rooting for us this week. Dallas Cowboys, you're absolutely right. You're right. So do you. Like, I always find that funny. I mean, if you're going to come into my stream and tell me the Giants suck, which they do, they've won 10 games in the last 3 years, you're one of the most disappointing teams in football. How are you going to have the nerve to go into anybody's stream and say that their team sucks? Dallas Cowboys were a Super Bowl favorite this year. One of the 3 teams out of the NFC that everybody liked. And you're going to come into my stream and tell me the Giants suck? You guys are the joke of the league. You're 6-7. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You've got a quarterback who can't throw to save his life, but your team's philosophy this year, even though Dak Prescott, for his career coming into this year, is 5 games under 500 when he throws 30 times or more in a football game, is to throw the ball 30 times or more in 12 of your 13 contests. But you tell me that my team sucks. Your team has more talent than anybody in the league, and you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're a bunch of lost puppy dogs in Dallas, and I love every second of it because you're wasting away your talent. So thank you for coming in here and telling me that my team sucks when you guys are blowing a chance at the Super Bowl because your owner's a jackass. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, please get the Cowboys man out of here. You make me sick. Let's see what we got here. We're expected to be bad. Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are clowns. I mean, how can a Cowboys fan have the nerve? They're 6-7. How can you have the nerve to say that anybody sucks? You guys are supposed to be the class of the league. I remember watching Emmitt Smith hoist the trophy before my 10th birthday. Yeah, the Cowboys were great there in the 90s. They were great. Dallas Cowboys first place with a losing record. Not good. Yeah. Let's get one thing straight. There was no first. Yeah. The Cowboys are, well, they're in first, but it's the toilet bowl of the league. Dallas hasn't been a 500. Dallas hasn't beaten anybody. You know who Dallas has beaten? I don't have the schedule in front of me. This is who Dak Prescott, who has the most empty stats in the history of football, by the way, this year. This is who Dak Prescott has beaten. Miami Dolphins, Washington Redskins, the Giants twice. Those three teams have a combined. Let's add this up. The Giants have 2 wins. The Redskins have 2 wins or 3 wins, and the Dolphins have 3 wins. That's 4 of their wins. 4 of their wins. The teams have a combined 8 wins this whole year. Good job, Cowboys. Good job. Good job. And you're going to tell me that my team sucks. Good to know. Josh Allen or Dak Prescott? Josh Allen. Not even close. Not even close. Josh Allen has a much higher ceiling than Dak Prescott. Do you think that Odell Beckham's lack of production this year shows how bad the Browns are or how good Eli was? If I'm being fair, I think that's a little bit overblown. I think Freddie Kitchens is a really bad head coach. And I think they have a poor offensive line. Mayfield's not that good. But I think it's a little overblown. And I don't like Odell Beckham, but I still think he's one of the best wide receivers in football. They haven't beaten a 500 team yet. Yeah. Just saying hi for the first time, and I come in and you dogging a Cowboys fan. What's up, Ryan Clay? Dallas defense looked very undisciplined against the Bears. Yeah, Dallas just got killed by the Chicago Bears. Like, give me a break. What do you think about Trubisky last night? Trubisky's getting better and better every week, D. Smith. He's starting to hit his stride the last couple of weeks. He's played much better. And the Bears are starting to get things going. If the Bears make the playoffs with that defense, I wouldn't want to play them if they could get in. I don't think they're going to get in, but if they do, they're dangerous. Yeah, exactly. See, Prescott, and Cowboy fans will tell you that Prescott threw for 330 yards or whatever against that defense. They were all empty stats. They were down by like 20 points, and that's what he's done all year. He's piled up stats against either games in which that they're playing, 2-3 scores behind when they're in prevent, or against horrible defenses like the Giants. But they'll tell you he's a great quarterback. Okay. Top 5 in passing yards this year. Off the top of my head, Matt Ryan, disappointing year. Phillip Rivers, disappointing year. Dak Prescott, disappointing year. And Jameis Winston. So, passing yards, that means a whole lot. Hope you sign him to a $40 million a year contract. Please, Cowboy fans, lock him in. What's going on, Giants Nation? Thank you for tuning in to the stream, man. Who you ate more? Eagles, but it's close. Giants should have won the last 7 games. At least, the Giants are not good, Luan. They're not good. I love your optimism, but the Giants are not good. Dak crushes it when defense is in 2-man zone. That's why I say sometimes the numbers don't tell the whole story. The numbers are bullshit. Dak Prescott's not a good quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have the best run blocking in football. They rank, at least coming into this week, the first run blocking offensive line in football, the second pass blocking offensive line in football, or maybe it was reversed. But either way, they have the best offensive line in football. Dak has everything at his disposal, and they're 6-7. He's not a good quarterback. You give Eli Manning 2 years ago that offensive line, you're telling me they're not better than 6-7? And everybody rags on Eli Manning. OGR is great. I'd subscribe again if OGR is the man. OGR is the man. What's up, Johnny Morawski? If the Cowboys are smart, they draft it. I completely agree. That's what I say, Johnny, all the time. If I was the Cowboys GM, I'm going to give the Cowboys credit. I think the Cowboys have done a better job than anybody in the league at drafting over the last 5 years. Unbelievable job of building your football team. But if the Cowboys are smart, they would franchise tag Dak Prescott for 1 year and draft a quarterback in this year's draft. That's what they should do. They're not going to do it, but that's what they should do. And then maybe I franchise him 1 more year after that and let him walk, like the Redskins did with Kirk Cousins, because he is not worth max money. He's not even worth max. There's no such thing as max money, but he's not worth premier quarterback money. It's not even close. And if they give that to him, they're going to go down the shitter real fast. Real fast. You done with MLB The Show? Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Donna said NFL is 8-8 league. Even the most talented, depleted teams can still compete week to week. It all comes down to a few plays here and there. Look at the Dolphins. So I got to Flores doing a great job with the Dolphins. Flores doing a great job with the Dolphins. You ever see Eli coaching? I do. I do not. Do I think he could be a coach? Yes, but I don't think Eli Manning would want to be a coach. In my honest opinion, I don't think he'd want to be a coach. I just lost 9 cents. Oh, sorry to that. Just got the Super Bowl. Give me luck watching your video while playing like a podcast. Just got to the Super Bowl. Give me. Oh, I appreciate that, Justin Roman, man. Thank you for tuning in. Do I remember Davis Webb? Yeah, he was trash can. And he was like better than the Giants and Redskins. But you don't have to block him for that. You don't have to block him for that. He can talk about his Cowboys. You don't got to block him for that. We're just having fun here. We're having fun. Let the Cowboys fans come in and talk. They can talk their smack if they want. They're 6-7. They're trash. Just like every other team in this division. And when my team's trash, I don't go out talking trash about other teams. Tana acting like I'm dead. Just kidding. I love you, Tana. No, Cushman. There's a lot of people in here. I don't act like anybody's dead. Who's going to be the next coach? I heard Mike Miller might be the next coach. Do I? We got to. I'm sorry, I don't like him. Chris, do something that can become a meme. Could you imagine Andrew Luck on the Cowboys if he came back? Scary. Yep. Could you imagine any competent quarterback on the Cowboys? Scary. Marjorie says, I was just thinking the same. How about them 6-7? Yeah. I would love to see Julian Love get 2 picks. He almost had 2 picks in his first game. Julian Love has been great for the Giants so far in the limited action that he's received. I'm a huge fan of Julian Love. Looks to be a good pick. Let's see what we got here. Chris, I have officially clipped that Dallas moment expected on my YouTube channel, and I will be telling Sean right now. Chris, what's up, Hobo Steve? Thanks for tuning in the stream. Anybody that may be new, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. Having fun with you guys tonight. Talking football. What's better than that? We have fun here. We have fun. But I'm really looking forward to the Eagles game Monday night. Giants-Eagles. I think it's going to be a really fun game. We get to see Eli Manning come back in a Giants uniform and play his last 4 games as a Giant. So I'm going to savor every minute of it, and I hope you guys do too. I'm really looking forward to it. Why the hell haven't they started Love? I agree. I was thinking the same thing earlier today, Johnny. Why has Love not been playing up to this point? Tana, I want the Phillies to sign Rendon just so I control. No, Cushman. Yeah, I got love for Julian Love. The Redskins still have a shot at the playoff. Yes, they do. They got to win the last 4 games, and they would probably get in because they play the Eagles and Cowboys down the stretch. Everyone hop on the yes. Let's go Redskins, Ryan Clay. Do you like any receivers in the draft? Yeah, but I don't want to take a receiver early. You know, Ruggs is good. I don't want to take a receiver early. I'd 3rd round at the earliest for me. Why won't he be back next year, Eli? Because we have a quarterback. We drafted Daniel Jones. Eli's not under contract. It doesn't make sense to bring back. He's not going to want to come back as a backup quarterback. It's not going to happen. We will have the best D-line next year with Chase Young, Leonard Williams, and a year of experience from Dexter Lawrence. We're going to have a good D-line if we go to the 4-3 and we bring in Chase Young. We'll definitely have at least an average D-line next year if that happens, at least. You jumping off the Packers bandwagon if the Skins go into Lambeau and win. Chuck, you know I got to ride the Packers till the end, man. I picked the Packers like 2 days after free agency. So that's like, when is free agency? That's in March, right? So like April 1st, I picked the Packers to go to the Super Bowl this year. And they're 9-3. Now, do they look as good as I would like them to look right now? No, but I got to ride them to the end, Chuck. I got to ride them to the end. They got my guys, Adarius Smith. They got Preston Smith. They got Amos. Those were 3 of the guys that I like most at free agency. I said Aaron Rodgers is going to come in motivated. I'm picking the Packers. And I'm riding them till the end. Got to do it. Got to do it. With our O-line, Eli might get hurt. He might. But he's never been hurt before with worse O-lines. But, yeah, I'm scared for any quarterback that plays behind our offensive line. Do you think that Betcher is doing the right thing by throwing the young defensive backs right in? I mean, who else is he going to throw in? They don't have anybody else. Their whole secondary is young guys. You know, you got, think of their cornerback. Sam Beal, rookie. Love, rookie. Baker, rookie. They're all other than Janoris Jenkins, they don't have any guys that they could throw in that are not young. So I don't think he has a choice. Why did we trade Apple? Because I think it was more of a locker room thing than anything else. I mean, hindsight 2020, probably should have kept young talent. We didn't get enough back. I guess you could argue that. He's played fairly well with the Saints. I think it was a locker room thing more than anything else. What do you think of B.J. Hill? He's hit or miss for me. He's been disappointing for me this year. I thought he'd have more sacks. But he's hit or miss for me. I don't think he's going to be a part of this team in terms of a big role going forward. I think he's going to be a depth player. You already see him starting to lose his starting role. The only way we bring back Marcus Golden is if we stay with the 3-4. If we go to the 4-3, it makes no sense. So, if people want to go to the 4-3 and people expect us to go to the 4-3, Marcus Golden's not coming back. He doesn't fit in a 4-3 defense. And he was brought in here specifically because he fit the James Betcher defense. So if we fire James Betcher, why am I going to spend $15 million a year, whatever it would cost to bring him back? Doesn't make sense. So if we're firing Betcher, I don't think he's back. Imagine if we had Chase Young and Marcus Golden. We're not getting Marcus Golden's not going to be back. I'm telling you right now. Unless Betcher's back. I don't think Marcus Golden's going to be back. Jenkins staying or going next year? I would have said definitely going if you would have asked me that 8 weeks ago, 9 weeks ago. I'm starting to lean that it's almost 50-50 that he stays. Because of how young and inexperienced our secondary is. They didn't trade him at the deadline. It's 50-50 for me that he stays. He could be back. Ogletree, I think, is gone. I think Ogletree will be cut. What backup quarterback do we bring in this offseason? It might be Tanny. They might just re-sign Tanny. Can Lincoln Riley make Daniel Jones a Pro Bowl quarterback? We're not getting Lincoln Riley. A lot of people bring up Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley's not coming here. Especially with Dave Gettleman as the GM. He's not coming here. If Lincoln Riley joins a pro team, he's going to want full control. He's got all the power where he is. He's in a great situation. He's not leaving it to come to it. It has to be a perfect situation, and the Giants are not right now, not even close. We may trade Baker in like 2 years. Maybe. I mean, Baker's got to get better for us to trade him. You can't trade somebody who's not worth much because you're not going to get anything. Who's my favorite of the available coaches? I like Matt Rule out of the coaches and Rivera. Those are my two favorite right now. That may change as more names pop up, and maybe there's some firings that we don't see. But right now, those are my two favorites. I do think Shermer's getting fired if I had to guess right now, but I don't think it's 100%. I think he could stay on for sure, but I'm leaning that he'll be fired. I'd say 75% he gets fired. Jerry, I thought Jason Kidd, I always thought Jason Kidd was going to be a great head coach. He's got a brilliant mind. He didn't succeed where he started with the Nets, right? And then the Bucks. He didn't really succeed that much as head coach, but I'd be for that. He's still young. I always thought Jason Kidd would be a really good head coach. He'd be an interesting hire for the Knicks. I'd be for that. I'd give him a shot. Why does our defense lose all momentum over the smallest mistakes? Our defense isn't good. They're young. They're inexperienced. They can't get off the field on third down. I knew we were going to go through growing pains this year. I was hoping to be better than this, but when you have a young defense without experience, you're gonna go through growing pains. Would you love to see OBJ retire as a Giant? I don't care if he does or doesn't. If he could help us win, bring him back. If it's the right move, I'm all about winning. But if OBJ could help us win, bring him back. I don't think he's coming back. I'd be shocked. Chris, Sean is very disappointed in your cow. How did you show Sean? How'd you show Sean, Sinor? How's that even possible? Oh, what did you link it in their chat? Are they live right now? Did you link it in their chat? Now Giants fans want OBJ. I don't want him back. I don't want him back. I'm not gonna cry if he comes back, but I don't want him back. We could use. Marjorie says Barkley talking about Eli Manning. He thinks the offense will improve. Interesting thing to say. Barkley said that, and Shepard seemed very excited to see Eli back before under center. I do think the offense is going to improve with Eli. Just for the simple fact that he reads defense is better than Daniel Jones. That's half the battle. I'm talking to Sean on the PS4. Oh, okay. What you think of Betcher? He had a pretty good defense in Arizona, so I don't know how to feel about him. I think Betcher. Okay, here's what I'm going to say about Betcher. I think Betcher got put into a really tough situation. I think it was a bad hire to begin with. I was excited when they brought Betcher in because of his success in Arizona, because I really did like the idea of bringing in an aggressive defense. A 3-4 blitz-happy defense, a defense that gets after the quarterback. So when the Giants initially brought in Betcher, I was happy. But in retrospect, it was a bad hire because they didn't have players initially that fit the 3-4. So the first year was a complete wash. You had to get rid of those players. And then you brought in players, and they're all young and inexperienced. So you basically set Betcher up for failure. Betcher in Arizona had a really good situation. He had players that could fit in his system, and he succeeded because of it. He was put in a really bad situation with the Giants, but he does things that make you scratch your head. But he was put in a really tough situation. I'm fair. I try to be fair. Betcher was put in a really bad spot. And the Giants shouldn't have switched to the 3-4. They didn't have the personnel to do it. So it was a bad hire to begin with. I like Greg Williams, yeah. Why we let go of Spagnuolo? Well, Spagnuolo wasn't that good with the Giants the second time around, if you remember correctly. The defense was really bad with Spagnuolo the second time around. But I think that's why. OBJ wants to come home. Would you like to have OBJ back to New York again? I'd be okay with it. I'm not giving up a ton for him. I'd be okay with it. I'm not going to cry if they bring OBJ back. What will happen to Rose? There's a good chance Roses gets cut. He's been horrible this year. Yeah, Betcher had Peterson. Golden was really good for them while he was there. Dayon Buchanan. The retreads were good there. They haven't been good with the Giants, but back then they were really good. They had a great defense in Arizona for those 2 years. That 2-year stretch where they were really good. Who do you think the Knicks point guard of the future will be? Not on the team right now. They don't have the point guard of the future on the team right now. Oh, I always want a hot dog. You know that, Sonor. But yeah, we'll be doing this for about 7 more minutes. Then I'm going to call it a stream. That 2 hours. That's a good Q&A. I always love doing this because I get a chance to hang out with you guys, talk Giants football, and yeah, this is great. This is probably my favorite thing to do on YouTube. 2 hours of just talking football with you guys. A lot of fun. Love it. I'm going to try to do call-in shows in the future. I'm still trying to get the phone to work. I don't know why. When I call, it's busy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've been trying to call it the last 4 days. It's busy. So I'm going to try to get that to work and do a call-in show at some point next week. But yeah, I love doing this. Giants are basement dwellers. Yeah. And when's the last time you won a Super Bowl? How many? You realize the Giants, Dallas Cowboys, missed the 6 and 7? You should just call yourself the 67s. Because you guys are supposed to go like 12 and 4. Do you realize that Eli Manning in his last playoff run, his last Super Bowl run, won more playoff games? He doubled your playoff win since that Super Bowl era in the 90s in that one playoff run. You guys, I think, have won 2 games in the playoffs since that 90s Super Bowl run. But we're basement dwellers. That's interesting. Can we pick O-line in free agency and draft Chase Young? Yeah, we could do that. We definitely could do that. That might be the way to go. Best receiver in Giants history, OBJ or Plaxico Burress? I'd actually argue Amani Toomer. I think Amani Toomer is the greatest receiver in Giants history. He holds all the records, and he did it for a long time. Now, was he the best when he was at his best? No. But for a career, I would actually argue Amani Toomer is the best Giants receiver of all time. Who's your most hated Giant all time? Probably Jeremy Shockey. I didn't like how he handled Eli at the end. A lot of people like Shockey. I didn't like the way Shockey handled Eli at the end. I loved him before that. I'd have to think about that. I'm not a huge Beckham fan. I'll be the first to tell you that. I'm not a huge Beckham fan. Well, I'm just thinking high-profile Giants. Obviously, I hate Eric Flowers. Eric Flowers is probably my most hated Giant ever. Eli Apple. Can you please answer my question? I've been waiting all stream. Let me go up. Let me see if you just asked it. If we get Rule or Rivera, who do you want the OC to develop Jones? Okay. Who do I want the OC to be if we get Rule or Rivera? Okay, a lot of people might not agree with this. The first name that pops to my head, I think he'd be a good coordinator, but he's a bad head coach. Jay Gruden. I would be open to that. That's the first name that pops to my head. Because Jay Gruden, I think, is a smart offensive mind, and he wanted Daniel Jones in the draft. He wants to work with Daniel Jones, and I think he could have success with him. So I think Jay Gruden's an interesting candidate as an offensive coordinator if we looked to bring somebody in. Not as a head coach, strictly as a coordinator. I think Jay Gruden's an interesting hire. Pat Shurmur is the most hated. Yeah, he is right now. He is right now. What O-line players could we pick up in free agency, and who? I haven't taken a great look at the centers yet. I'm going to do that as the offseason gets closer. Tackles, Conklin's the obvious name that you always hear. Costanzo's the other guy. Darrell Williams, but he's played very poorly this year, and I think he's actually playing guard. Those are the two names in free agency. Those are the two top guys that I've seen. Do we fire our our medical staff is trash. What do you think? He's going to be a Hall of Famer, Jack. Saquon Barkley's going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think the Colts will probably keep Costanzo because they didn't use a lot of their cap space this offseason. They had $100 million to spend, and they didn't spend near all of it. So I think they'll probably keep him, being that they have a great offensive line. But if he hits the open market, he's 32, but on a short-term deal, he might make sense. Evan Ingram on the team in the future with all the injuries. I don't think so. Not one more year, but not after that. We're not getting Belichick. Not this year, we're not. Maybe down the line. Not this year, we're not. What kind of offensive system will... It's a great question. I have not done near enough research to tell you that answer with Matt Rule. I have not done enough research. I know a lot of people love him. I know he's gotten the best out of his teams in college, and I know he came from a defensive background. I've not done enough research on him. But I will. As the coaches get close, as the offseason. If Pat Shurmur is fired... Trust me, I'm going to dig in and do extensive videos on all the head coaching candidates. I'm kind of just doing rumor videos right now because I don't even know if Shurmur's going to be fired. But if Shurmur does get canned, I will have probably 10, 12 candidate videos in the coaching search. I like Caden Smith. I want to see. I'm with you, Marjorie. He played great these 2 weeks. He's gotten an opportunity. He's been a surprise. He's been good. And I think he'll be back next year. I think he might get an opportunity. Yeah, Isaiah, I was not a Fizdale fan. I don't think he's the main problem, but our owner is. But 21 wins in 2 years, not going to cut it. Kevin Gilbride is a head coach in the XFL. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And I'm glad to see that. I mean, he was our offensive coordinator for our Super Bowl. So, I'm happy to see him get an opportunity. And I'm going to check out the XFL. I'm going to give it a chance. Oh, thank you so much, Asia, for the $5 super chat. Bends the knees. She says, stand up. Mets getting new owner. Now it's the Knicks' turn. That is the quote of the night, Asia. And you came in just in time because I'm ending this in about 2 minutes. But that is the quote of the night. And thank you for the love. The Mets got rid of their owner. Can the Knicks do it now, please? Please? I've been begging for years for the Mets. I was praying. When I heard that the news that the Wilpons were thinking about selling the team, I almost fainted. Honest to God. That's like the best sport news I've ever gotten in my life. If Dolan ever sold the Knicks, hallelujah. But yeah, that was great news. What's up, Anthony Simonelli? Thank you for tuning in the stream. What's up, Giants Nation? How was that quote of the night in a football? Well, I'm excited. And if the Knicks would ever get rid of their owner, I'd be beyond excited as well. XFL is shaping up to be entertaining. Yes, Cardell Jones will be fun to watch. What's up, Madden Football? If the Knicks sell, would you do a stream shirtless? No. Because people would take snapshots, and I'd have shirtless pictures all over the internet. Chris, let's buy the Knicks right now, Chris Leon. Let's start a GoFundMe, and we'll buy the Knicks together. All of us. Everyone in this chat room. Ooh, will you ring my bell? If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. It is 10:30. We've been on for 2 hours. I had so much fun doing this. You guys packed the house. You guys made it a lot of fun tonight. Always love doing these Q&As. Tomorrow I'm taking the day off. Won't be streaming. I'm working a late shift. Picked up an extra shift, so I'll be working till midnight. And so, yeah, there's that. But I'll try to have a video out for sure, if not two. And then Sunday, I'm going to be on Bad Dogs channel for the 425 game. And then the Sunday night game, I'll be solo on my channel. And then obviously the Giants Monday night. So we got some streams coming up. And always appreciate all you guys, all your support. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. You can join the Discord there. You have a great night, Schlick Smith. You have a great night, Brian. You have a great night, City for Real. You have a great night, everybody. Thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. Marjorie, thank you for being a great subscriber. Melvin, thank you for being a great subscriber. JJ Trill, I know you're rooting for us this week, JJ. You cowboy lunatic. Chris Leone, you have a great night, buddy. White Lotus, Jim Harbaugh. I would love Jim Harbaugh. He would take complete control. He ain't coming here with Dave Gettleman. But I would love Jim Harbaugh. Bad Dog Lives, right? Yeah, he does the Laker game. So you go over there, check him out. But you guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being here. And I will see you soon. I'll see you soon. Good night there, Asia.